Hi, good day everyone. It's Angelina, and I'd like to welcome you and say thank you for attending the Smada World Opportunity Webinar today offered by Next Level Africa. Today's webinar is going to provide information and updates for you as we know them. There's always something new, even though it might sound a lot the same. Every week we have something new to add, and you'll see when Noel comes on. And as usual, we will be having the Q&A at the end. So I'd like to warmly welcome everyone joining us from the various parts of the world today. We've got many time zones and countries. As usual, we've got our people in Canada, the US, Australia, Spain, France, the UK, Malaysia. Oh my goodness, did I miss anywhere? I don't think I did. The Netherlands, France. Anyway, thank you so much for everyone coming to join us today. It gives me great pleasure to introduce you to our presenter for today, Mr. Noel Adams, the founder of Next Level Africa and our CEO and leader of the Smada team. Welcome, Noel.
Getting myself organised, because even when this webinar starts now, I'm still getting updates in from London, South Africa, Los Angeles. It just keeps coming through, so I try to get as much as I possibly can, and to keep you informed. I guess the world we're living out there is just, we're based on being in the hands of programmers. They seem to be the brakes and the accelerator in what we do. So it's just really one of those areas where we just seem to get into their world, and there's not a lot we can do. It's the waiting game. But just to start off with there, I'll talk about the exchanges, which is probably the main area of where we want to cover. But last Thursday, the head of the UK technical team, he left two of the technical team in Los Angeles, and he flew back to London for meetings with the bank project manager, Timothy, and also with the technical team in London. So those meetings were supposed to be for one day, but they went for 3 days this week, getting things in place. And I'm not privy to what actually happened in those meetings, but the head of the UK technical team is now on his way back to Los Angeles to work in with the teams that are already there. Look, if you ask the bank when they would like this finished, it's obviously yesterday, because these technical teams and flying backwards and forwards to Los Angeles, I can't put a figure on it, but it's probably $20,000 or $30,000 a week this is costing to get this sorted out, and it's been going on for some time. So it's obviously a lot more involved in the issues with the exchange than what we originally thought. And of course, the bank, they want full bank security on the exchange because of the volume that will go through there, and they just want everyone protected. So as much as we want it to be finished yesterday, we also want to be totally protected, because hackers look to become part of it. And that's why they're going through this. There was an attempt for a breach in I think it was November into GX. So that's where all this started happening then. So they took GX offline, and it's been offline ever since. So sadly, I won't know till Monday exactly where we are with the exchanges, because you see, everything is also linked to Next Level Africa, and some of the servers had to be reprogrammed, so that they had to set up new servers to run it, because the servers were corrupt. So anyway, they managed to get that part of it fixed up and get the NLA component sorted out. because whilst we loaded up line 5, we discovered within our NLA that there were issues with that because they had to keep stopping it because of the technical team in Los Angeles had to keep coming in and messing with our servers, and NLA went offline. Maybe you didn't notice it as much because it only went off for an hour or two here and there, but they managed to get all that sorted out. We had issues because initially the balances weren't transferred over. They had to stop that, and then they ran the balances to get them over. Then they discovered that there was one account that came up with a minus, and no account should have a minus. So they had to work in with London to get that part of it sorted out, find out why, and they managed to do that. So the balances were then all sorted out, so members would see their balances in there. Then we had an issue with the piggybacks. They jammed on one project, so they went and it wasn't so much just flicking it over. They had to find out why it was doing it. So they worked on that, so they managed to get that part of it sorted out. And then another issue came up where every now and again, because when you set a program, it's supposed to do the same thing all the time. It shouldn't go off course and do something different. And what happens is that it's set up so that when you upgrade, your coins are allocated to whichever upline position it's allocated to. And in this case, let's say it's package 1, it goes up. When what was happening is that, in fact, 26 times it happened out there. Instead of paying the member above, the coins went into admin. It paid admin. So that became a bit of an issue out there. So I've had them check that out, which they've now fixed. So what will happen is anyone that's missed out on coins from upgrades will take the coins back out of admin, and we will be sending the coins out to the members. So anyone that thinks that they've missed out on payments, that's been the issue with it. It was pointed out to me by a couple of members, so I went with it. And just while we're talking about Next Level Africa, back in the time when I developed the payment processing, the matrix on how it was to run out there, it obviously it must be a little bit confusing because it took me a month to explain this to our programmers, and I was getting that frustrated trying to explain it because they have to write it out on how the coding goes, so it was a little bit frustrating on it. But even now we've got members, and I notice in the rooms there's been people questioning out there how it works, and these are some of the members have been there for the full year term that we've been running and still have trouble understanding the difference between a line and a package. So we are doing, and through the help of one of our very dedicated members, Maxine York. Maxine is working at the moment to simplify a lot of the terminology in everything that we do, from our NLA through to explaining how the exchanges work and the whole difference, that we have, and try to make it simple for people. But if I could just quickly add this in, this is the simplicity, I think, of it, is that when you join a program, you get a position in that program. Now, if it's a matrix, a binary, a unilevel, you get a position, and that's where you are. Now, within the company, there's generally products, and you generally buy those products, and generally they're bought in sequence. Now, the first product that we have for Next Level Africa are our crowdfunding platforms. That's what the product is. Now, that's considered to be level 1 or package 1. That's what it is. So whatever line you fall onto within the matrix, you purchase your first purchase, which is a crowdfunding platform, and you purchase that product. Now the commissions are paid accordingly. If you decide that you want to buy a further product, then you purchase a further product. So the lines and the packages are just totally different. So we'll try and make it simple for a lot of people out there. I noticed a thread there trying to explain to some of the members or that have been there for 4 years. You would think after 4 years it becomes easier, but some people are still having trouble understanding what a line and a package is. All we are doing at the moment is that we've taken the database whole. The database is not changed. There's no one being moved up. There's no one being moved down within the system. It's been taken out and put onto a holding server. And that holding server, what we do is we grab one line at a time from that, and how it went in there. We have all the history with every account, transactions, income that's come from it, and it goes back into the system line by line. In this case, we've just put line 5 in. It had a few little issues out there, but they've sorted that out. And, you know, we never know what issues are going to come up until it's loaded back in again. And I guess that we've just learned that once you start talking about technical things, it certainly can be an area out there that runs into difficulty for us all. So they work on it as they can, and you know, from that, it's just an area where we you know, we just work on what we need to have happening there. So that they are certainly, you know, getting on top of all of that. And so line 5, we'll go back to it now. If anybody thinks they're on line 5, try to log in. I've had some people tell me that the forgot password is not working, so we are working on that. I don't know why that's not working at the moment, so they're looking at that now. And because we run our programming group in South Africa, we do run on a time delay, and so, you know, having us report things to them now, it's 11 o'clock at night where they are, so consequently we need to wait for the next morning, and then they get onto it then and try to get the thing fixed up and on the run with it. So look, I guess once again, as I said, it's the world we live in, and I'm not the programmer out there. Sometimes you shake your head as to why something can take so long, but nevertheless, it is what it is out there, and so we're just working with it. But nevertheless, we'll be there sooner rather than later, getting this sorted out. One of the things also too that I mentioned before, which has been put in place, the investors have registered with CX, 91 of them, which we will be able to contact them. There's been funds arrive at CX, and those funds can't be shown yet until they get all the security certificates in there, which hopefully we see them next week. And then there'll be some trading happening in the exchange, so they're just waiting for that to happen out there. Speaking about the exchange again, that it's we now have control of running the exchange, so Mix of Africa now run CX, and I'll just explain how that works. Look, I want to be very transparent with this so that we can all understand how it is. And remember that the bank is still associated. The bank controls the funds in there, the asset account. They appoint the market maker, so this is not something that we pluck a figure out of the air. The market maker is an independent person that sets the value of the coin in relation to what money comes in, what the coins are sold for, what money goes into the asset account. And as I mentioned before, that the bank are putting $20 billion into our asset account to cover the value of the coin. We don't see the true value of the coin on the exchange just yet because they haven't, the money's in the asset account, but it's not displayed. So when it comes up, and hopefully that's next week when they do it, you will see that the NLA coin is headed towards about the 120 now. So it's coming up nicely. Our asset account should see up around about the 8 billion. And we've still got another 12 billion or so to put into that, which will certainly enhance the value of our coin. So that's how that works out there. Now, what I really want to be able to tell you is, and as I said, I want to be very transparent with this. I don't have to tell anybody this. What I'm about to tell you now, I don't have to tell anybody. We receive fees from transactions that happen within CEX, and those fees, the funds are paid into the NLA admin account. Now, this will run into many millions of dollars per week on the fees on the trading within the exchange. And the reason I'm telling you that is because every part of this I'm bringing it together so it benefits the NLA community, the Smada community, because a portion of that will come back in and we will do something with it and we will report it. It'll be very transparent on what we do with it, and that could be looking after our projects that we have out there. And as you know, that we've just got some major projects that have gone into the system out there. We're up around 75 projects. Some of them have got to be taken out. They're all correct there because they just loaded them up. They'll be loading more up. And but nevertheless, we're getting some major projects that will be coming up there. Some going into the tens of millions of dollars. So these are the projects that I'll be setting a time structure to go to America, because that's what is happening over there. They'll be checking out our projects so that the allocation, because I've got the meeting with the legal team from the bank, so they can allocate the funds, which is going to be $100 billion a year for our humanitarian projects. So we'll be able to allocate these funds to a lot of projects that we've got coming up there now, and they'll be vetted. We have an international team of chartered accountants that I've appointed out there that will vet the humanitarian projects to make sure they're all above board, because whilst we can nominate the projects, I will make sure that it all doesn't fall on my lap if there's a problem out there, and that can't happen. I don't want anybody to come and think that I've misappropriated, because we are dealing with $100 billion, and it's not something that any one person should have the control over where that goes. It's got to be vetted and very transparent, because we're hoping to increase that amount every year. And I think when you can appreciate when that happens, we'll have a lot of humanitarian projects that will become part of what we want to help them with out there. So a lot of the funds, and look, the beauty of this whole thing is, and this is just how it's worked out, this has been 4 years in the building, but the beauty of the whole thing has come about now is that we own the program, we own the coin, and we own the exchange, so that we've got full running of this whole thing. The whole thing is linked in. There would not be another company out there. We're a sleeping giant at the moment. Not many people know. You come into these webinars, you hear me talk. A lot of people really don't know what's about to happen with Next Level Africa. And consequently, that all of this is controlled under the one banner. It's a program that's been built by me out there. It's been funded by me. And so we're not looking at money going off to a board of directors and shareholders out there. So the funds that come in will be earmarked to go into the community. So I wanted to add that out there because it is important that members realise that, you know, where they are with it. And look, I'll tell one little quick story. A lady who, I won't mention the name, but she may be on this call, or she'll hear the recording. But she was had some visitors turn up at her place in Spain, and she got talking to them about Next Level Africa because they're setting up a fairly big humanitarian project in Rwanda. And she got talking to them about Next Level Africa, and they said, oh, I've heard about that. And so I guess the point I was trying to make, it made it so much easier for her to explain it because they had heard about it, because not many people can explain Next Level Africa to somebody who's come along and knows nothing about it. So it made it so much easier. Now they want to be part of Next Level Africa. They're looking at doing some other things because we do have other alliance partners on what we do. We're about out there. So it's going to become easier. People are going to be looking for us out there in this. So I guess where I'm coming from is that we've got something rather special that's about to happen out there, and a lot of members that have been very patient waiting for this 4-year term out there, and there's no one more patient than we're waiting out there. I deal with the setbacks that we get, and I was hoping to have this exchange thing completely sorted out, but there's nothing you can do, and you've got the programmers and technical team doing whatever they need to do out there. So look, that's where we are with the exchange. We're in a good position with it, and as I mentioned before, that we are getting to the point where we'll be calling it a day as far as the subsidy on the coin through Next Level Africa. So there's been a lot of talk about that amongst the banking group and the investors, obviously, because they certainly want to be able to see a true value that the coin is traded for on the exchange. So we're looking forward to that. Just to mention also about some of our alliance partners, we have been working with BCN Net Club Network, and once again, this is another programming issue. Sometime on the 1st of February, they were going to change over to Bitcoin Cash, and they've had programming issues and delays on their mining equipment, and there's a few notices up on their system at the moment, just mentioning that there are things coming along. So we wanted to do a rather major promotion on BCN, but I don't want to do it while we've got, I mean, it's bad enough with Next Level Africa and the exchanges with every delays and issues out there having to explain it. I don't want to be explaining BCN. And whilst it's all good, I mean, there's payments going through on mining shares because they're waiting on mining equipment to be installed, and I believe that's going to be at the end of this month that they've got an update. I think that they've mentioned in there they're going to do 2 updates for April, so there's another update ready to go in there. So we're just keeping an eye on it at the moment, and we are going to do a major promotion, and I'm just trying to work out some of the things that we'll do with it and how we go about it. So it's all good. So the members that have got into it early, and even anyone that wants to get into it now, is certainly welcome to do it, and they will benefit from the promo that we'll do because we run it over the entire binary. We don't have control of how their binary runs, but we have control of how we run our section of the binary. So we'll be doing some major things right through the binary. The other alliance partner that we're working with is UPB Plus. They have been working with their programmers, and they've just got a few tweaks to do. Thought they were ready to go last week on it, but it seems that they've just had a couple of things. In fact, when they hit login, it was going to frequently asked questions, so that sounds like it's a fairly easy fix. So their programmers were working on that. Now, as I mentioned before, UPB Plus will be working with the NLA Coin, so that the coin will be the currency used in there, where people will be paid in either coin, or they'll be able to cash their coin in and get paid. And the beauty of using the NLA coin in a system like UPB is because it's unlikely that our coin will go down. Whereas if you used a volatile coin such as Bitcoin, I think we can all know that is volatile. It can go up, it can go down. So if you accept money today on it, who knows what you've got tomorrow? And most people that become involved in these currencies out there, Bitcoin, etc., don't really see it on a day-to-day. It's something that you look at in 12 months or 2 years on what you've invested in there. But people will see that with our coin, you get a monthly increase on the coin, so there's little risk of losing. And in the case of UPB, where it's member-to-member payments, people will be able to make money on the structure because of the coin increase in value. Because if you get paid today in coin in there, and you're holding your coins before you can make payment to your upline, because you need 4 payments that come in, you might find that in the meantime, by the time you get the 4th payment, you've got an increase in value on the coin, so therefore you're paying a dollar value to your upline, but you're paying it in coin, so therefore you'll have some coin left over. So members will see an increase in their coin value. Because look, the structure behind this, and I want to try and make this a little bit clearer as well, I'm not looking for every single program out there to become involved with. What has come out over the last decade especially is that there was a product out there that we all are probably consumers of. And that's what happens out there, is that we consume products. We possibly would like to, if we consume a product, get to a point where we're getting that product at no direct cost. And I guess the big one is, if we can consume a product and get it at no direct cost, it'd be nice to make money on that product as well. So that's how it runs. Now, when I look at the crypto world currency, most of us are consumers of currency. So that's how I've looked at this whole thing. We consume the currency. Would we like it at no direct cost? Well, yes. So it's a product that you don't need to have a garage full of it. It's online. It's a virtual product that we don't have to store anywhere. Now, on top of that, would you like to get the product that being a consumer of the product, and then no direct cost, and then also to make money on that product as well? Well, I think that we can all agree that we would like to make money on any product that we're consuming, and currency is one of them. So you'll notice that the key to everything that I look at has got crypto involved with it. BCM, UPB, and of course we developed the crypto for Next Level Africa. And just to quickly go over that as well, we initially, when we first went out there, we went for the Jingling coin. The Jingling coin was ours, we owned that, and it was such a wonderful concept that attracted the banks to become part of it. So the bank at the finish bought Jingling, so they now own it. And Jingling, when you see it come up there, should be, it's hard for me to work out the exact figure on it, but you should see it's probably over $600 now. Remember that started off at $1 when we started jingling. So the banks could see tremendous value in that. And so once that happened out there, we asked them to also manage an asset account for us and give us our own coin, which was the NLA Coin. So that's how to distinguish the difference between the jingling and the NLA Coin. So we actually took over the jingling wallet. So the NLA wallet is the old jingling wallet, and we just changed all the names on it. So that's how it came about. Jingling, the banks use as a stored value for their investors, and just to give you an idea how the money arrives for the humanitarian out there, the funds, when people purchase coin, the coin is then 50% of it is paid into the asset account straight away, and the other 50% is used for futures trading. And they invest it out there for a 14-day period, and in that 14-day period they get a return of 22% per day. So that's why you see billions of dollars going into, you don't see it now in GX because it's offline, and you don't see it in CX because they haven't added in it yet, but when it's running you see approximately between $2 and $3 billion a month going into GX and CX from that trading. And that is where they get the profits from to run their humanitarian program, which they now have something like $3 trillion waiting to be distributed out there in the humanitarian. So once they do a press release on that, it's going to be the biggest humanitarian project that's ever been undertaken. And we are dealing with arguably one of the largest banks in the world, HSBC Bank. They're totally behind everything that we're doing, and they can see value in us bringing some quality humanitarian projects out there. So anyway, it's all looking good. The other thing too is that we have a company that we are looking at the moment as far as getting the payment processor involved. We wanted to make sure that that we have the correct payment processor in there so that we can get things happening. So they've actually got things going with the likes of Amazon and eBay and some of the other larger retailers, some major retailers in the UK, and it's a very unique system. I won't go into the full detail, but they had a meeting with a Financial Conduct Authority a week ago. They're just waiting for the okay from that. Once that comes through, then we'll be able to fully test out the system, and hopefully we'll have a payment processor where member to member is no charge on doing member to member payments. So it should really give the payment processing world a major shake-up. It's directly linked to your bank accounts, and so the money is not stored anywhere, it's stored in your own bank account. So you've got no chance to lose it out there. So we're just waiting on that to come back from there. All right, but look, that's really the updates at this point. Whilst there's what might sound as though there hasn't been much, believe me, there's been a lot, and they're still continuing to work on that, particularly getting the NLA component fixed up, because remember, we are linked to the bank. The bank know everything that we do as far as trading on the coin, because we have what we call the seed node that registers every coin that's traded in NLA. So the updates that are going on now, the upgrades, coins all have to be checked by the bank to make sure it's all correct out there. So we've got Big Brother overseeing what we do, and that's a good thing because it keeps us all on our toes, and the banks like to see what we're doing there as well. I'll go into just a little bit of a promo that we've been doing. This is just so that we can have some members get in before the major rush comes in, because believe you me, we do have some major groups wanting to come in, and some of them I'm holding back a little while with it, and look, one of them I've spoken about, UPB. The owner of UPB has many accounts in Next Level Africa, so the synergy between the two of them will be quite enormous, and we'll be doing some promotional activity with them and vice versa, so that their members can take on Next Level Africa, because there's not too many people, once they see the simplicity of Next Level Africa, and it is, I mean, that's designed to be simple. It's, while the techs are working on tweaking things up, it might look complicated, but it is designed to be simple. A lot of people will simply want to have a position and have it as part of their MLM portfolio out there, so we can see a lot of activity happening. And this promo we're doing now is just to help a lot of our members, their friends, their family, to position themselves in readiness for some pretty serious numbers to come into Next Level Africa. As I mentioned before, the major announcement on this will be that there'll be no more $1 coins. This is a good thing, because at the end of June I want to discontinue the offering of the NLA coin for $1 USD, and the reason on that is because I want all trading to happen on the exchange. So members that have NLA coin, if the market maker has set the value of the coin, whatever it's set at, and remember this, we've got a lot of members currently now receiving coins, and those coins are coming at them at a value of $1, and the NLA coin has now a value of $120 on the exchange. So by the time we get to the end of June, I should imagine that the NLA coin will be heading towards the, look, I don't want to go too far off the mark with it, but I can see it heading very close to $200 a coin. So you know, once again, it's an area out there that now is a good time to do something with NLA, so that you really capitalize on what's about to happen. We're making this special offer to our members and guests. Now, if you want to purchase 50 plus positions in Next Level Africa at $20 US for each position, you will need a spreadsheet so that they can be loaded in by our programmer. They will fall on line 9. The reason we are doing this is to secure the $1 coin for the upgrade, because we will be getting very tight on it. So I want to make sure that our members and their families and friends have the opportunity on this, because a lot of people, when they come along, will miss out. They'll simply miss out on it. And so I want to mention this, that what you don't realise is that the amount of uptake we've had on the 50 plus positions, it represents about $3 million that when we put them in is going to be scattered amongst the entire matrix. They'll be shared by the members that are already in the matrix, and consequently on these accounts, because of the amount of people coming in, these accounts will be placed in a position where they will have a downline on them, where they'll receive 30 coins. If 30 coins currently, when we get to this point, because it will happen probably sometime in June when we place these accounts, those 30 coins are worth approximately $3,000, and by the end of June that could be a $6,000 or somewhere in between. So when you consider taking a $20 position with the possibility of it earning that sort of money, it's not a bad return. There is no other return in the MLM world that could even come close to that. we've also decided to do, because we've had a lot of members, and members, struggling out there, we want to make sure that we try to look after everybody. One of the criteria with this, and it's hard to not do this, but I try to make sure that people with get the benefit over the people without. So we're trying to look after everybody out there. So I've come up with the partial positions in Next Level Africa. So sending an expression of interest for the partial positions, which is 10 plus. So what will happen with that? We will link members together and submit the one CSV file. The cost of this would be $22 per position, because you've got us having to compile there is a time cost to us, and of course when the file's loaded in by the programmers, they also charge us on that as well. So once again, we put this together, but when you look at the possibility of what you can return on this for that amount of money, it's a no-brainer. You can send all expressions of interest to support@smada.world, and by sending that in, you'll be attended to. Look, Angelina is personally looking after a lot of this, and I have to say from here that Angelina's been doing a marvellous job on coordinating this with the various members and following it right through and helping them. Anyone that's had any issues on how to put a spreadsheet together, she's managed to simplify it for them. So we certainly are on top of that component. And as I said, it's probably been one of the most successful promotions that we've done for members, and the benefit is going to be soon once we get in there. I mean, just by putting line 5 in, we put 243 people in, and by doing that on line 5, if we look at the coin value, and I'm just going on the coin value at $100, that's putting quite a bit of return into the system. It's about $360,000 with line 5 going in there, that's generating back up through the other 4 lines. So that's the sort of income structure that's coming in. People don't realise what's going on out there. So that's why it's important that where members were missing their 10 coin payment, I quickly got onto that when I realised it was happening out there, and got the programmers to get that sorted out, because that's major. 30 coins, we're looking at $3,000 out there that members are missing out. And as I said, NLA has always been hard to explain, because how is anyone ever going to explain that one to anybody? They tell you to run, to say that you pay $15 to join the program, and the first 3 people pay you 10 coins each, and that's worth $3,000. No one would believe that. It's just an area out there that we've been able to do it through the magic of our cryptocurrency and our association with our banks, and just what's been able to happen out there. So we all know that it's correct, but it's very hard to explain that to a stranger out there on the effects of what can happen with it. Just to run over where it was when we first started this on the 23rd of the 3rd, the asset account stood at $4.5 billion in Next Level Africa, and the coin value was $82 the coin. Sorry, $62 the coin. And that the last time we seen the value on the 10th of the 4th went to 5.8 billion, and the coin value was valued at $80.07. Well, as I said, the last I heard, and look, I'm not officially sure on this, they don't give me an exact price on it, they just give me a ballpark, but it's somewhere between 115 and 125 that the MLA coin is now worth, because as I said, the last time there was an increase on that, which is now 5 weeks ago, we had that was its value. So it's had a couple of nice increases since then, because it's probably going up at around about $20 to $30 a month now. As the coin values come up, so does the amount of money that comes back in through the humanitarian investments, and we receive our grant from that to make up the $20 billion. Okay, look, I'm going to hand this back over to Angelina. I do want to thank everybody for turning up and hearing me out on this. I hope that the information was understandable, and as I said, it's out of our control. I will try to answer any of the questions if any members have any questions out there, and some of it, as you know, that I'm on non-disclosure with it. I mean, I already probably say a little bit too much from the bank's point of view, but nevertheless, I want to try and keep our members as informed as I can out there, because after all, we are all on the same page with this, and we're all in the same food chain. So I want to make sure that anything that I can exchange and bring it up to a level that we need to have it on understanding it, I certainly want to make sure that members do get that information. Okay, I'm going to hand it back to Angelina now, and thank you once again for being patient there and being on the webinar, and I'll look forward to any questions that come up. Okay then, Angelina, I'll pass it back to you.
Thanks, Noel. And as always, we always hear just a little bit more information each time we get together like this with all of our members. So yes, please go ahead and type your questions in the chat box so that we can have Noel answer these questions. We probably got about 10 minutes for questions or so that's great. We're doing well with keeping these webinars into an hour, but certainly, you know, we'll answer the questions even if it goes a little bit over time if need be. Anyway, go ahead and ask the questions, type your questions. Okay, we've got a few questions coming in here, Noel. The very first one, Noel, is talking about the flow of cash to the crowdfunding projects. It's from Rimmer Support, who is Andrew. His question, Noel, is how does the cash get allocated for the crowdfunding projects, and is there a project payable to the account in NLA or in humanitarian projects again repeatedly, or does the project retain the entire cash? I will pass the mic back over to you, Noel, to answer that first question and go on. Thank you.
Thanks, Angelina. That question must go back a way, does it? Okay, I just want to read it there. How does the cash get allocated for the crowdfunding projects? And is there a projects payable to account in NLA or admin humanitarian projects again? Look, just to go over, Next Level Africa don't take any commissions, don't take any part of your money that you collect. If we were to, and I just want to use this as an example, if we were to allocate $1 billion for a humanitarian project out there, the accountancy firm that we have would vet that. They would obviously charge for that as well, but that would be a charge from them, not from us. We don't take anything of that at all. Whatever the net amount left over is will go to that project. So we don't take any funds at all. There's no commission structure. There's no amount that you have to collect, a minimal amount out there. So we leave that entirely with the members. So that's how it is. So once we can nominate humanitarian project out there, but we do not take any commissions from that at all. So I think they do retain their entire cash on that. I'm just going through some of them here now. John, hello, Smada is working together with BCN and we joined BCN. Are people of BCN interested to join NLA or have they already joined? We have had a couple of them join out there, John, but as I said before, because they're dealing with little issues themselves, and we haven't really got our entire operation ready to take to the masses. I mean, I'm actually in contact with some of the major leaders in BCN, and when we're ready to do something out there, we certainly will. I mean, we will have people in our organisation that will make the money, even the founders in BCN, make them look like they've a small change. So they are going to take notice of where we are out there with this. I mean, some of our members will see millions and millions of dollars in this, and we'll have many members that see that. So there's certainly going to be some people that take notice out there, and so yes, we will certainly be having them join us as well, because we will offer a promotion for them as well. We can offer them a deal they can't refuse. Is that that's phrased? Lisa, well, it's UPB, but UPB plus use the dollar coin. Not the dollar coin. No, they won't. The dollar coin, the only program that will ever have access to that is NLA. No other program will ever get a coin for $1. So they will just simply work on the market value of the coin. They'll have to either purchase the coin through the exchange or however else they purchase it. They may have internal buying and selling of coins where people can join and buy the coins internally, but nevertheless, if the coins are worth $120, that's what their members will pay for the coin, not $1. The only one that gets the coins for $1 is NLA, which is going to finish at the end of June. Well, John, can you give a timeline when CX is in full operation? Well, wouldn't I love to be able to do that? I'd like to get inside the head of these programmers and see what's really going on there. It's really impossible, John. I can guess, but then everyone can guess on that. It was supposed to be finished on the 11th. So it's Jamie, the head of the programming team in London, is heading back to Los Angeles now after meetings with a bank, as I mentioned before. So it's impossible to do that as well. James, what is the plan for line 6 when it's planned to be loaded into the matrix? That's pretty easy on that one there, James, when we finish line 5. So the reason I can't put another line in out till we complete line 5 is because people will get jumped. So we can't do that. Some people haven't upgraded. If we put line 6 in and they upgraded, they'd jump over, and we have people coming back to us screaming their heads off. So we must complete line 5, get all the technical bugs ironed out as well. So once that's completed, I have no idea who is on line 6. We know when we get the line, but that's when we find out. So I have no idea who's on line 6, 7, 8 or 9, I have no idea. All I know is what's in there now. So as we finish that, and now that they've just ironed the bugs, somebody just told me today that they've completed some of those issues that we had, because as I said, the piggyback was stuck, it was paying admin, so we got all that sorted out, so therefore we should be on the move with it now. If member buys into all packages, how does that look from capitalisation of benefits to the whole team of NLA? Look, you only buy the packages as you need them, depending on your downline. So we are going to be looking very closely at the packages as well to make them a little bit more interesting, but it's pretty obvious that that the more packages that people buy, that gets distributed right through the entire matrix. So, but you only need to buy what you need to buy. You don't need to buy anything higher than that. Right now, people can't go over package 2. We won't let that happen. We don't want to get people jumped. If people got jumped and lost the payment on package 3, which is 100 coins, you can think that's $10,000. You can imagine the complaints we'd have on that. So we're trying to keep it so that people can't go to package 3. When I understood, well, each NLA should take care to pay the upgrade on time. Is there any system within the NLA account via mail that gives you a signal to do so? We can't tell you when your downline is going to upgrade. So it's something you need to look at. I'm going to look at, we ran into many issues by having the automatic upgrade system put on there before, so we had to knock that off while we really could understand what was going on there with it. So it's really, John, I think that members should check their accounts out periodically there, and I guess as it gets going, the more activity there, the more often you should check it. But that's something that you'll have to determine from there. By looking at your hierarchy, you'll see who you've got in your downline, and you'll also see what their status is, and you can check on your coins and payments received, money earned, to determine how you're going there with your system as well and what you need to do. So it's really up to members to keep an eye on their own account out there and determine when they're wanting to go. Okay, look, I think we've covered most of the questions there. I think that because of the update, I tried to be as informative as I could, which probably eliminated quite a few of the questions out there. I've probably answered quite a bit of that for people, and hopefully that we've got a better result on the exchanges and things coming up for next week. But that's what they're doing there, so that's all we can really do. I'm going to hand this back to Angelina to close up. I do want to thank everybody for turning up on this webinar. I hope that the information has been informative for you, and we'll continue to give you whatever updates we get as they come. Okay then everyone, bye for now. I'll hand it back to Angelina.
Thank you, Noel. Thank you for getting up so early and making this a regular time of week for the webinars to inform us all of what's been going on behind the scenes, because there are a lot of things that are really going on, and we so appreciate all of you. We had quite a few more people tonight, which is tremendous. Thank you so much for your support from wherever you are. And yes, this is recorded, so give us 24 to 48 hours to have it come out, and we'll be sending it out into the rooms. So everyone, thank you for attending. Enjoy your day or your evening, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you. Bye for now.